What's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Let's talk 140. All right, Josh Taylor against Regis Prograis, World Boxing Super Series Championship. Okay, whoever wins this fight, Muhammad Ali Trophy. Okay, this is a unification match between two title holders at 140, two undefeated title holders at 140. Okay, no matter what they say to you, this is a big fight, man. All right. This is a fight between the two, in my opinion, the two best fighters at 140. In my opinion, we already have a unified champion, and Jose Ramirez. But I believe that these two are the two best at 140. Okay. Um, Listen, 140, the junior welterweight division has been great to me. It has been great to me ever since Terrence Crawford became undisputed and moved up to 147. Everybody at 140 has been facing each other. You know, Jose Ramirez is unifying right now, beating Maurice Hooker. Okay, Hooker beat Terry Flanagan for the title. Okay, out there in the UK actually. All right, went out there and collected the belt. Um, he had Jose Ramirez who collected the title too. I'm not sure if it was against Amir Imam. It might have been against Amir Imam. I did go to that fight. And then Jose Ramirez earlier this year ended up unifying by beating Maurice Hooker. Okay. And then you had the World Boxer Super Series tournament, right? We had Cairo Relic in the tournament. Okay. We had Terry Flanagan in the tournament. All right. We had Ivan Baranchek in the tournament. Okay. Josh Taylor beat Ivan Baranchek to get to the finals. All right, tough fight. Baranchik was undefeated. Okay, then you have Regis Prograis who beat Kyle Relic, tough fighter. All right, ends up in the finals. All right, two champions now fighting. So this is a big, big fight. No matter what they say, no matter what Derek Chisora says, this is a big fight, man. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know who's gonna win this fight. Nah, I do know. I came up with a winner who I think is gonna win at least. All right. But I did a lot of film study to come to that conclusion. I had to watch fights that I've seen twice before, another two times. Okay, and I was just really trying to study, and I felt like I was over studying it, and I was like, you know what? I just got to go with my pick, go with my gut, and this is what got us here. All right. A lot of comments. I read a lot of comments. I think what the fans got to understand is first thing, Regis Prograis hasn't fought anyone on Josh Taylor's level yet as a professional. Okay, he just hasn't. The flip side, Josh Taylor has not fought anyone on Regis Prograis' level, in my opinion. Okay, he's fought some very, very good fighter. He's fought some seasoned fighters. Okay, Miguel Vasquez. All right, Victor Postal. Okay, former champions and all that. I understand that, but there's no one on his professional resume that fights anywhere near how Regis Prograis fight stylistically. Okay, so this is gonna be there's gonna be a lot of new things that's gonna come into the play for both of these fighters. All right, it's all about who's willing to make the best adjustments in the fight. Okay, if there's any adjustments that need to be made. Okay, so I want to make that one thing clear. Also, we can't rely heavily on the resumes. Okay, I said in my post video, my past video earlier this week, that I feel like Josh Taylor has a slight edge in resume. Okay, he has less fight. He's been a professional a lot less amount of time than Regis Prograis. But don't let that blind you from the fact that Regis Prograis is a different kind of fighter. Okay, they're both really special fighters. It's just which one is really special. Okay, um, you can't look too deep into that. Okay, if you look at Regis Prograis, yeah, Cairo Relic, um, Terry Flanagan, Julius Ndongo might not be better overall than beating Miguel Vasquez, a Victor Postal, or undefeated Ivan Baranchik. Okay, it might not be as good. All right, but none of those guys, again, none of those guys that Josh Taylor beat is anything like Regis Prograis. So don't go too deep into that. You also have to give the advantage to Regis Prograis. He has fought two southpaws, two former champions that are southpaws. Two higher level boxers in the 140 division that are southpaw. Okay, Josh Taylor hasn't. All right. He did fight Campos, Winston Campos, but that guy is not anywhere on a level as an Ndongo or a Terry Flanagan. Okay, so you have to give that edge slightly over to Regis Prograis. All right, so there's too many things that we can sit here and go back and forth about resumes and which fights matter. None of that is gonna matter this weekend. All right, at the end of the day, is whose style is better overall over the other style. Okay, this is going to be a good stylistic matchup for many, many, many reasons. Now, when I think of Regis Prograis, when I look at Regis Prograis, I did hear him say the other day, when I was watching their face off about, fighting a lot of rounds with the Charlos and being in camp with guys like Guillermo Rigondeaux and Erislandy Lara. When I watch him fight, I do see some Erislandy Lara in there. Okay, he has he has very great balance. A lot of people might think that he's flat-footed, but it doesn't matter that he's flat-footed because he sits down on his punches and he has great balance. All right, and being that he doesn't move so much with his feet, not nearly as a Josh Taylor does. He doesn't really have to because he has his upper body movement is top notch. His athleticism is top notch. Okay, his head movement and the way that he's able to shift his body from left to right without having to move his feet. You have to really pay attention to that. He doesn't have to move his feet as much as a Josh Taylor to be defensive. Okay, so he likes to lead forward and use a lot of weight on his front foot to create like an illusion that he's closer than what he actually is. He likes to set up his pull counters that way. Okay, so when you watch Regis Prograis fight, you might see him leaning forward, leaning backward, leaning forward. He's shifting to the side, shifting to the left. He's creating a delusion or an illusion that he's closer than what he's actually is. And I've learned that from watching video of Erislandy Lara and even Floyd Mayweather. They both do the very same thing. And also, of course, Guillermo Rigondeaux. Okay. So I see a lot of that in him, and it's worked for him throughout his whole career. He has a great, great, sharp, straight left hand. Very, very powerful. He has a very high KO ratio, as you guys already know. He's knocked a lot of people out. And he shoots it from different angles. He's mastered that straight left hand. Like a Erislandy Lara has. Like a Guillermo Rigo. Those guys. I mean, you can even compare him to Manny Pacquiao a little bit. Because he can shoot it from different angles and throw it straight from different angles and angles you wouldn't expect him to throw it from. Okay, so you have to be very aware that when he goes to the body well, very good counter puncher, very good hand speed, sharp jabs. Trying to think of everything that I see in this kid. Like I said, the head movement drops his guard. All right, doesn't keep his guard up, but he's very confident in his slickness. Okay, and he's very good at slipping shots. He doesn't feel that he needs to keep a high guard because he's very good at slipping shots and countering. So that's what we're gonna expect from him. He's a very, very slick fighter, but he can rumble too, and he has a lot of power behind that left hand. Also, he goes to the body well. He likes to go to the body with that straight left, but he also likes to counter to the body when if you he likes to duck and throw combinations to the body if you leave yourself open, and try to lead with a shot and keep yourself in a pocket. He'll throw a quick combo and then move out of there and escape from danger. Okay. One thing that I would have to say, and I really had to really, again, this could be an issue for Regis Prograis because there's a lot of unknowns with him because he hasn't been forced to make any kind of adjustments in his fights. He has been so dominant that no one has forced him to switch it up at all. He's been the ring general in all of his fights, and he's so dominant. He's always up so far on points where he kind of just kept the fight going the way that it was going. He stayed in control, full control of the fight. So when you see fights like the Terry Flanagan fight that went to distance, um, he was winning, and everything that he was doing was working perfectly for him. But he wasn't forced to change anything. He just kept doing what was working for him, which is good and it's safe. But there's people that can watch this fight and be like, well, he's boring. Me and my dad, a while ago, me and my dad, or I wasn't watching, I didn't do a video with my dad, but me and my dad was watching Prograis fight against Carol Relic, right? And we watched that fight, and we also watched the fight between Josh Taylor and Ivan Baranchik, okay? So we watched that fight, and he thought he likes Josh Taylor better. He never seen them both, neither one of them fight before, but he said he liked Josh Taylor to beat Regis Prograis. He just thought that Regis Prograis, even though he was very good, he didn't really do anything to turn it up and just go and stop Kyle Relic. Now he did eventually stop Kyle Relic, but he said it took a lot longer than it probably should, and it ended up being a boring fight where the Ivan Baranchik fight was a great fight. We all saw that fight. I covered it on his channel. It was a really, really good fight. All right, so I can see why people have said, and I've read several comments on why they thought Regis Prograis was boring. So I kind of understand where people are coming from. All right, so he can kind of draw out a fight, and I think his weakness sometimes is when he shoots that left hand. There's times that he shoots it, ducks, and move out of the center area where he's not in danger. But there's times where he shoots it and his head stays dead center, and he gets the pull counter by a left hand. I see Terry Flanagan do it. I also seen who else caught him with a couple good shots. I can't remember, but mainly Terry Flanagan. I watched that fight the most because Terry is a southpaw fighter, and he's very quick. And, he was able to go to full 12 rounds with him. So I did watch that fight the most because I think he's the most similar. And Dongo, even though he's a southpaw, outside of his movement, there's a lot of movement left and right, a lot of lateral movement, everything there. It wasn't that many similarities between the two, him and Josh Taylor. So anyway, I think that's one issue he has. Josh Taylor is a guy that's going to be looking to counter those shots, especially with a right hook. Uh, and he could possibly hurt Regis Prograis with that. But like I said, I think it's more about Regis Prograis being a mystery. We haven't really seen him make adjustments. And if he's forced to have to make adjustment, if what he's doing is not working for him, what is he going to do? And that's the one thing, that's the one question I have about him. I don't know about him. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Josh Taylor. And Josh Taylor is a guy that is uh, he's a very unorthodox fighter. Okay. He does pretty much everything in the ring. This is a fighter that can switch positions back and forth throughout the whole fight. Okay. He naturally fights from as a lefty, but he can switch to righty back and forth continuously throughout the fight. When he does that, notice that he throws punches from different angles too, angles that you're not expecting him to throw. He has a great right hook, but he likes to step in and throw a left hook. All right, he likes to keep his lead foot on the outside of his opponent, step in and throw a big left hook that most fighters that are fighting southpaw don't really see that coming. That's one of his best punches, I think, that he throws. All right. Also, he's great at going to the body. Great at it. As I mentioned in the other video, he absolutely destroyed Miguel Vasquez by just going to his body. He made it a dog fight and it's attacked his body and destroyed him. He went rounds of just doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is definitely one of the biggest thing. Yeah, Regis Prograis go to the body too, but he's like mostly on the outside. Whereas Josh Taylor, you can just make it a dog fight and just keep it more of an inside fight and go to the body continuously. Okay. Um, Josh Taylor is another guy that uses a lot of lateral movement. Okay, he's a lot more light-footed than Regis Prograis. All right, so he likes to use a lateral movement. He likes to change directions a lot. He likes to get low. He likes to crouch and fight low at times. All right. He can fight a rangy fight, try to keep his opponent at the end of his jab. And you would think that he would do that against Regis Prograis, being that Prograis is a lot shorter than him, all right, and doesn't have the length that he has. But Josh Taylor is not going to probably fight that way the entire time. He's going to be mixing it up. So he likes to get low. He likes to move his upper body a lot. He likes to change directions a lot. He likes to, change stances a lot. Um, Throws punches from a lot. I mean, he's very, very versatile. He's definitely a lot more versatile than Regis Prograis. All right. It's just that I think Prograis is more of a master is at exactly what he does. Like he's an expert at what he does, where Josh Taylor is going to give you more and do a whole lot of different things. All right. So Josh Taylor also is a big puncher as well. You know, he can definitely knock you out. He has a pretty good KO ratio as well. And he's, like I said, I thought he's fought the more experienced fighters between the two. Okay. So I do think he has a better resume. It's just that I think Regis Prograis fought fighters that are more similar to Josh Taylor. Not exactly like Josh Taylor, but more similar. Okay. Um, so yeah, I think Josh Taylor, the thing with Josh Taylor being that he can switch it up so much and fight so many different ways. I think with him, I've seen him have to make adjustment. I thought he was losing a fight against Victor Postal. Okay, I thought he was definitely losing the first half of that fight, and I think he was just getting outboxed. Postal was just very consistent with his jab and that right hand, and even a landing the right hand to the body, which would hurt Josh Taylor at times. Okay, I just thought he was out. I think maybe all the way up into the eighth round, I thought Victor Postal was kind of clearly winning that fight, but Josh Taylor kind of made it a dogfight. All right, started throwing some bigger shots, heavier shots, and he started making it a very physical fight, which Victor Postal is not that kind of fighter. He was rangier than Josh Taylor, and he was keeping Josh Taylor on the end of his jab. He was just better at fighting that way. And Josh fights extremely well on the outside. It's just that I think certain fighters are better at doing that, and that's what Postal is great at doing that. Just like Regis Prograis, he's great at doing that. He just might not have the height as a Victor or a Josh, but I think Regis Prograis is great at fighting a rangy fight, even though he's not tall and doesn't have the reach. Okay. So yeah, I think Josh Taylor has shown me that he can make adjustments more so than Regis Prograis. He showed me that even from being a little bit down on points, maybe. I don't know if he was officially down, didn't check the scorecard, but I felt that he was being outboxed by Victor Postal. And for him to come back and really turn it into a dogfight, it just showed me how much heart he has and how he can make adjustments mid-fight. Even with Baranchek, I seen him make adjustments in that fight, and even against Miguel Vasquez, I seen him make adjustments in that fight, and I like to see that in a fighter. That means they have, a second plan. They have a plan B. I haven't seen Regis Prograis show any signs of having a plan B. I'm not saying he doesn't have one. It's just that I'm just saying that if it's not working for him, I think he would have to go into a plan B, and if he does, what is he going to do exactly? All right. So advantages that I think Josh Taylor is going to have over him is the size advantage, definitely. The reach and the length advantage for sure. I don't know if he can outbox Regis Prograis from the outside. I don't think he can, but I think that if he is outboxing Regis Prograis from the outside. If he does, I think that would really be problematic for Regis Prograis, being that he's already the shorter guy, and the guy with the lower he doesn't have the reach advantage there. Then he would have to probably be forced to coming forward, and I don't think that would really play too well for Regis Prograis if he is being outboxed from the outside. All right, but the way that I see this fight going, as good as I think Josh Taylor is, and as good as versatile as he is, I think Regis Prograis is just too athletic. I think he's defensively better. Okay, and I think he's going to control this fight with his straight left hand. I just think that the power in his punches is going to make Josh Taylor just a little wary of being as aggressive as he normally is. I think he's going to feel Regis's power, and I don't think he's going to be as aggressive as he needs to be in order to win this fight. Okay. Um, the thing is with Regis Prograis, if it does go late, uh, is he going to have the stamina to maintain what he's doing right in the ring if he is up on points? Okay. We did see Victor Postal fade in that fight, but he's a much older fighter. Okay, he's not in his prime, and he's older. Um, Regis Prograis on the other hand is younger, and I would expect him to. You know, but it really depends. I don't know. This is what makes this fight such a 50-50 fight. I really don't know, because I don't know how these guys are going to handle a fighter uh, that is based on how their styles are. I really don't know. There's a lot of unknowns here. All right, but I'm going for Regis Prograis because I think he's just more sharp. I think he has a little bit more power. I think he's a little bit more accurate with his punches. I like his defense better than Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor just gets hit a lot. He got to hit a lot against Victor Postal, against Ivan Peranchek. Just a solid jab alone. Even the the Campus fight, just Campus was just, even with his jab for that short amount of time that fight lasted. I just think that Josh Taylor doesn't have the head movement. He doesn't have the ability to slip the shots as good as Regis Prograis does. He relies more on his high guard, and you can punch through that high guard. You know what I'm saying? You punch right through that. Regis, on the other hand, can move his head so well and counter. He has to be, even though he's a counter puncher and he's going to definitely rely on his pull counters and stuff. You have to you still have to be worried about getting countered by Josh Taylor. But I just think Regis is just too slick. I think he's better than anyone that Josh Taylor has faced by far. And I think his style is just going to give Josh Taylor some trouble, too much trouble. And if, I'm just going to go with Regis Rougarou. I think he's just too good. People brought up robberies, and what if he happens to get robbed out there? I mean, listen, it's a possibility. Like I said, it's a possibility that anybody can get robbed in the sport. But I think Regis Prograis is going to win. I think it's going to be a great fight. And I think even if Josh Taylor tries to change it into a dogfight, I think it's going to leave himself more open to get hit with a left hand that might possibly hurt him. Regis Prograis, I haven't seen him hurt or anything. That I've seen Josh Taylor hurt multiple times. Especially to the body. And I just think that Regis Prograis might be too much for him at this time. All right. So anyway, that's my breakdown. Hope you like it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Uh, You know, I think one more point. I think I might have made this point. I think both fighters are the best in the division. You know, I think both fighters beat Jose Ramirez. All right. Uh, so I think at some point one of these fighters will become the undisputed. Hopefully by next year, by next summer. You know, Jose Ramirez is coming off an injury, so we'll see how that works out. But I think Regis Prograis is the best, and I think he will win this fight. And I think that he would be even good at 147. I look forward to him possibly fighting Terrence Crawford in the future. But we'll see. We'll see. This is a 50-50 fight. So let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, support the channel, like, dislike, donate to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.